Welcome back to 15 Minutes With. I'm your host, Sam Dostler. This time we are joined by Liz Janangelo, who had a banner amateur career in Connecticut, winning 5 consecutive women's amateur championships from 1997 to 2000, 3 consecutive women's open championships from 2003 to 2005, played on the 2004 U.S. Curtis Cup team, qualified for 3 U.S. Women's Opens. Liz was an AJGA Player of the Year and a 4-time All-American at Duke, and also played on the LPGA Tour. Liz, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to join us.
Sam, thank you so much for having me.
So you began playing golf when you were just 3 years old. What made you get into the game?
So I have an older brother, John, who spent a lot of time caddying for me in a lot of the CSGA events. And I always looked up to him, admired him. My dad was a big golfer, so it was just something we did together as a family. And, you know, I see it a lot now, all the families playing golf together during COVID. It's, you know, with every negative, there's a positive. So looking back, I was lucky to have that time with my family. And now I see it in other people, which is, it's truly a gift.
So your career as an amateur in Connecticut really jump-started your golf career. What stands out most about your Connecticut amateur career? Of course, a lot of wins, but along with the wins, is there anything else that stands out, or is it those victories?
Well, it's where everything started, as you said, and what stands out the most is I remember being a 13-year-old, chubby 13-year-old. You know, all I like to do is play golf and play baseball, and my dad's like, you know, let's sign up for the Connecticut Women's Am. You're playing well. Let's see. So it was just kind of a fun last-second thing, nothing we thought about. And second round got rained out, and there you have it. You have a 13-year-old as your champion, and that really jump-started my career as an amateur. And having the Connecticut Open as my first professional victory really jump-started my professional career. So Connecticut really has a special place in my heart.
You have a special place now as far as your standing with the CSGA. The Women's Player of the Year honor was named after you in 2017. Did that catch you by surprise? How did that come about?
It really did. It has to be the greatest honor that I've ever received. And I also think maybe they should rename it to the Jen Holland Player of the Year, as she's won it all of the years so far, which is truly impressive. But I received a phone call. I was at work from Danielle Lendl, and I was truly caught off guard. And it was a great surprise and a terrific honor, and something that I have to share with my husband, Jason, and our 2 little girls. So we'll always have that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just quite astounding when you look at your record and the 5 consecutive Connecticut Women's Amateurs. When did you realize that you were good at golf?
I started to realize it in that span of the Connecticut Women's Amateurs leading up to the AJGA Player of the Year. I was very fortunate and had my pick of colleges, and that's when I knew I could make a living out of this. I'm pretty good at it, and you know, I was truly made the best possible decision having gone to Duke, and I only have Connecticut to thank for that.
Before we get into your Duke playing days, I wanted to go back a little bit. You mentioned that you played baseball as well as golf. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I played everything. My parents were great. Looking back, they drove me everywhere and everything they could to give my brother and I all of the possible opportunities. And I'm very fortunate for that, having 2 little girls now. I know that driving around gets to be a pain, and I'm definitely not as good at it as my parents. So I played soccer, I played basketball, baseball, tennis, golf, we skied. I mean, you name it, we did. I was a real tomboy growing up. So, and having an older brother, as I mentioned, you name it, we did it.
And how do you think playing all those other sports helped your golf game? Do you think they did? Do you think they helped your golf game?
they helped my golf game tremendously. The power from baseball, that movement, hand-eye coordination. Now I am a teaching professional in Long Island, and I see a lot of kids that play soccer, and I love soccer. I was a soccer player, but something about the hand-eye with the baseball, softball is huge. If your little ones are interested, have them cross-train, play all the sports that they can, because it will all work out in the end to help their golf.
We're talking with Liz Janangelo, who had a banner amateur career, played on the in Connecticut, played on the LPGA Tour, a U.S. Curtis Cup team. After you played in Connecticut, you went to Duke. You entered Duke as the #1 junior player in the country, and then didn't disappoint while you were in Durham. 4-time All-American. The Blue Devils won back-to-back NCAA team titles while you were there in 2005 and 2006. Describe what it's like to be a member of a team in a sport that really is played largely on an individual basis.
So while at Duke, it was definitely a unique team experience. We were dominant. We won almost every tournament we played in, and that I attribute mainly to our coach. A lot of coaches said, you have to be friends with everyone on your team and this and that, but Coach Brooks was different. He had a unique take on it. He said, you don't need to be friends, you need to respect them. And we all had a similar goal, because talent recruited talent, character recruits character, and hard work recruits hard workers. So we all worked so hard. We pushed each other, not necessarily, hey, let's go do this together, but we were all out there putting the hours in, and we wanted to be the best. And because we all wanted to be individually the best, that made our team the best. So that was a unique team experience for me.
What did you learn about the game of golf while you were at Duke?
Ooh, that is a good question. I learned that golf takes a lot of time. So I had decent grades, maybe not the best grades. I learned that a lot of boys like golf too. So it was a good way to get a boyfriend. So, and then I also learned that professors do enjoy dozens of golf balls. So I did throw them to a few professors. I might get in trouble for saying that, but
I think your statute of limitations is probably passed by now, right?
I hope so.
And no teachers were named in that comment, or professors. So I think you're in the clear. So after Duke, you made your way into the professional circuit. Did you ever question turning pro, or was that always your plan as your career progressed along?
That was always my plan. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy the professional golf as much as I thought that I would. The travel, after traveling for an extended amount of time, all those years, junior golf, college golf, not sleeping in your same bed, every single night. It was a challenge. It became lonely, and I thought I would enjoy it more. It definitely had its benefits. I got to see the country, make good friends, but and I wouldn't have given it for anything else in the world. It was very special to have that opportunity.
Take us through your professional career a little bit. You ended up with 2 wins on the Symetra Tour. You played a couple of seasons on the LPGA Tour. What was that path like for you?
So it was definitely challenging. I think there was, to be totally honest, there was something in my mind for playing for money that changed. I tried too hard. I had success at an early age, so I didn't take it for granted, but it was hard for me to differentiate between playing for money and playing for a title. So that was tricky. It was a challenge.
I did find your LPGA Tour introduction video, and in it you said that you need to have a McDonald's ice cream cone every day. Is that still true?
Yes. So let's talk about that. Now, during COVID, they did not allow cones at McDonald's. So it can't be in a cup, it needs to be in a cone. So we needed to make a few adjustments. Dairy Queen does offer a cone. They were not afraid of that, but definitely an ice cream a day. Unfortunately, I think my girls now have picked up on that too, so it's getting a little tricky. We kind of fight over the last, skinny cow.
As an ice cream lover myself, who goes to get ice cream 2 or 3 times a week, I can totally understand where you're coming from with that. So you played a couple of seasons on the LPGA Tour. Was there a welcome to the tour moment for you? Was there a moment that you thought, wow, this is, whether it's playing with someone that you had watched on TV or someone you had admired during your amateur days?
So we'll go negative, then we'll go positive. So my welcome to the tour started in Hawaii, 2 weeks in Hawaii. I came back very tan. I was very fortunate to make both cuts. I went into my rental. I have a horrible memory, and I think it was at Turtle Bay. I popped the key open, and everything seemed okay. Then I'm like, it's not perfect, but it is what it is. The LPGA Tour is not like the PGA Tour. I woke up the next morning because it was late that night, and there were bugs everywhere. And I'm like, I'm all right. Like spiders, I'll kill them. It's okay, but I'd never been more disgusted in my entire life, all over the toothbrush. So I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. So that was my negative welcome to the tour. But I think the positive that week, I did make a birdie on my first hole, and I was paired with Ai Miyazado from Japan. So it was a very special pairing. So, we had a negative, we had a positive, but it's really nice to work so hard and be like, have a wow moment, like, this is it. Oh my God, I made it. This is what I've worked so hard my whole life for.
For sure. We're talking with Liz Janangelo, banner amateur career in Connecticut, played on the LPGA Tour. I want to cycle quickly back to your amateur days before we talk about how you're still involved in the game of golf. You played on the 2004 U.S. Curtis Cup team. Got to wear the red, white, and blue, play for an American team. What was that experience like for you?
It was unbelievable. It was a wonderful, talent-packed team. Paula Creamer, Michelle Wee, Brittany Lang, Jane Park. It was amazing to wear red, white, and blue. I know a funny story that I have from that. I was partners with Michelle Wee, and she was very young, 14 maybe at the time. And she had these special tees with the tiniest little top on them called Stinger tees. They still make them. So she's like, Liz, here, use this. My dad gave them to me, and they make the ball go further. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I sat out the morning match, and I was paired with Michelle in the afternoon match. The fairways were lined. I'd never seen so many fans. We were in England at Formby. So they announced now on the tee, representing the United States of America, Elizabeth Janangelo. So I'm so nervous. My heart's pumping. My hands are shaking, and I can't get the damn ball on that little tee. So I had to chuck the tee, take out the big one, and use it. So I have Michelle to thank for those first tee jitters. Oh, it was embarrassing, but the Curtis Cup was wonderful memories, great friendships from that, and truly a special time in my golf career.
Fast forwarding to your golf career now, you're still involved in the game. You're an assistant professional at Mill River on Long Island, but you also have a young family. Tell us a little bit about how you're still involved in the game and what it's now like to have a family. And you mentioned not enjoying the travel so much as a professional and being able to settle down.
So golf has such a special place in our family. My husband's the head pro at Mill River Club in Long Island, as you said, and I am his trustworthy assistant. So I'm in charge of the teaching, the ladies golf, the junior golf, and it's so fun to have our family involved there. The kids come frequently, they attend camp. And the past few years, I've really taken a step back, raising our kids. Caroline, who's 7, and Julia, who's 4, they're at an age where they need me. And I've been there to stay home and let my husband travel. And he's played in the PGA Championship the past 2 years at Bethpage and out in San Francisco this year, and is very close, leading the points race actually in the PGA National Player of the Year. So I am currently at home with Caroline. He's in Florida with Julia. So a 3-week break from each other. It's challenging, but we're doing very well. And so I took a step back, let him play. And in the past month or so, I passed my PGA. So now I'm an LPGA and PGA professional. So I have every intention of kicking my husband's butt and working hard on my game. So, maybe he's starting to feel good about himself. So we got to bring him down and kick him down the stairs a little bit and get back to the top.
Sounds like a very competitive household. We're talking with Liz Janangelo, and I'll get you out on this one, Liz. You shared some really fun stories from your playing career. Are there any other stories that come to mind, any go-to stories when you talk about your playing career, whether it be as a junior, while you were at Duke, while you were playing professional, or even now while working as an assistant pro?
Well, this is probably the most inappropriate story I could tell, but it is okay. So when I was 13, was when my career started in Connecticut, Simsbury Farms, and I was paired with the great Marcia Dolan. Won numerous, they announced her name, and Marcia Dolan is like the goddess of Connecticut golf. So they go through the list now on the tee. Marcia Dolan won X, Y, and Z. It was 20 minutes long. So I'm so nervous playing my first event, and they're like, now on the tee, Liz Janangelo, nothing, crickets, because who am I? This poor lady's like, great, I'm paired with a 13-year-old, this will be fun. So I'm so nervous. Again, going back to the Michelle Wee story. So I put my ball on the tee, take a few practice swings, nervous playing with Marcia, step up, hit it, swing as hard as I can, and ripped a fart. So, bet you didn't think that was coming.
I did not. Well, I guess it only went up from there, right?
Oh, God, yeah. See, the embarrassing things. So, it could always be worse, I guess.
Did you at least hit the ball?
I'm sorry?
Did you at least hit the ball?
I almost drove the green. So, like I said, I ripped a couple things during that time.
She has been Liz Janangelo. She had a banner career in Connecticut women's golf, 5 amateur titles from 97 to 2001, 3-time Connecticut Women's Open, the U.S. Curtis Cup team, played on the LPGA Tour, All-American at Duke. Liz, thanks so much for joining us, talking a little bit about your Connecticut career, your professional career, and what you're up to now.
Sam, thank you so much for having me.